And I love having the emotions. I love being a woman because I have the emotions I do. And I am not ashamed about it. I feel a woman should feel the way she feels. You were initially talking about the whole offspring part. I want to take a step back when I have a baby. It's my decision. My husband is not telling me. My in-laws are not telling me. I am telling me. I don't want to work for a year. But I didn't work for 2 years when I had my baby. And I was a hardcore working woman. Uh, some people, I don't know why it becomes an issue to be spoken about. It has to be a decision. A lot of men take that decision. I think when they have their child, I mean, I think few in India, but many abroad, they do take that decision. They say, okay, I don't want to work. I want to be a home dad or whatever the name is. And I think it's perfectly okay to feel that way. I'm not ashamed of it. Second point again about emotions, I feel women having the emotions in business. I don't run a business, but I feel that also helps. It can be a deterrent sometimes, like Lucky was saying that people get frustrated. You don't perform in crisis. I see it differently. People, women, because of their emotions, get a lot of loyalty out of their, out of their team. The way you behave with your team, the way you support them in their time of crisis, I think you get a lot of loyalty also. So women's emotions work in a very, very healthy way in an organization. Yes, sometimes in a negative way, but that also happens with men. Men also have different things. Sometimes men are far too aggressive, far too bold, far too what is it called, harsh, so I think emotions is just emotions. It works well sometimes, whether it's from women or from men. So it's just the way you use it to your advantage.
These are really good insight from your own experiences. Now, I want to start with
I'd like to add here that having said that our emotions and nurturing skills could be a deterrent, the other part of what I feel is also that being women, being emotional, being nurturing, we are also better at long-term relationships. So we hold relationships better, which puts us at an advantage. So we understand customers, we understand consumers, we understand government, we understand economy, and we understand children, and we understand household expenses, which makes us good business women, just being there. So that is an advantage because we are good at long-term relationships, at understanding people, and in the beginning I said we have better common sense and instinctive powers, so that gives us an edge. So of course, emotions do work, and nurturing skills, of course, set us apart as women and do give us an edge.
Very good. And relationship building, that's interesting. Now, Ronak just had yesterday a major business achievement. And the next statement is about women often lack support from other female business leaders. True or false? And I'd like to hear if you've had, what kind of support you've had in your career.
So I think that support is very individual. So I can tell you that I come from an all-female household. We are daughters of the tribe. We have a daughter each, and they are daughters of the tribe. So I think it would be very individualistic to say, to comment about my life. We're army brats. But I think the fact is that support is hard. Support is hard in wherever you are in the social structure, in the social hierarchy. It's hard to garner support because at some level it's a financial challenge. At another level, it's a social challenge. It's about perception. It's about the fear of failure. So I think support comes also from your own conviction in your own self, and it's great when you have support. But if you don't have support, that should never hold you back. That's incidental. Everybody else believing in me, my parents, my husband being an outstanding spouse. I have a democratic marriage. You have to call the remote. But the reality is that everything else comes after the fact that I believe in me. I'm my own support system first. And the minute that happens, everything else falls into place. Like I said, it's very hard for a panel like this to be able to comment on that fairly, because we're just not living in that world. I mean, I know a lot of people from the previous panel came in and spoke about how the fact that India is a very patriarchal society, and we are. And I think pockets like South Asia, Middle East, Northern Africa, these are particularly so. But the reality is that it's a universal, global, regional issue.
Yes.
It's not exclusive to India. This is women all over the world are facing it. One of the things that I don't hear from women in India is, if I were a guy, I would be paid differently. In the West, this is one of the most common things that I hear on a daily basis.
Yes.
So I think, you know, the patriarchal is unfortunately the way we've been taught to speak. So
Very
It's
good.
very commonly said in India also.
Yes.
Like women are paid much less in the same performing role.
I think women are not taking on the challenges. So there's two aspects. I think given the exact same, if you're comparing apples to apples, it's happening much less here. The reality is it's very hard in India to compare apples to apples because I'm a mom and a wife, and that takes precedence. I will choose roles that are different. So I think from learning to the labor, from the part-time to the full-time, from the choices in career, I think that's also, so there's dilution at every level. But but what I feel and what I've seen in my own career, at Hangama, before that with Ogan, comparing apples to apples, there isn't much of a disparity.
I'm glad you
I
brought
have
that up. Yeah, the pay gap, the gender pay gap, and that's a topic I'm very passionate about. And yesterday I had the opportunity to meet with two of India's top executive search consultants, headhunters, and that was exactly my question to them, was their thoughts on the executive gender pay gap in India. And what they were saying is that the level that they're working at, when you're the C-suite, the most senior level of the company, they don't see it, was their opinion. So yeah, this is definitely an area worth further exploring. Thank you for that. Amrita.
I believe
Yes.
that I believe that if the pay gap is actually bridged, that would be an increase of $17 trillion globally.
Exactly. Yes.